So in the first two classes, we learned some pretty acrobatical, we moved towards pretty acrobatical poses, back bends and handstands. And they will feature, of course, in this class because we are building up and progressing from class to class. But today's peak pose is a very traditional yoga pose called Kurumasana, the turtle. It's a hard one. Skinny, long legs and arms. You get this pose no problem. If you've got short little legs and arms like me, you have to work on it and you have to learn how to do it properly. So I'm going to show you from scratch all the tools you need to get into turtle. But what I recommend you have today is a belt. If you don't have a yoga belt by now, I think and if you're onto your third class and doing yoga regularly with me, I think you should get yourself a belt. But if you don't have a belt, have a tie. So let's slow down the breathing. Set your intentions, your sankalpas. Remember, we have the intentions of what we are working on the mat. What we are working on in our day-to-day lives. And finally, reminding ourselves of our wildest dreams. And let's start to get warm. Okay, we're going to come out to the side like we do most days. And coming out, arm in line with the ears. And then coming back and coming to the other side. Okay. And what we're doing now that it's lesson 3 and you've done the first 2 lessons either once or a couple of times, we're going to build and progress from those sequences that we did before. Yes, the classes are getting stronger and harder. Not faster, I'll stay slow. Okay, from here, we are going to open all the way up, hips forward. Open up the chest, press down into the foot, and open the chest up. Good. And then let's come to the other side. Extending out to the right, open up the chest. Good, and then opening here. Well done. Now coming to all fours and hump the back in a curvy cat, angry cat, and then navel down, bottom and head up. Inhale, hump the back, navel to the spine. Exhale, bottom and head up. Okay, curling one more time, but exaggerate, go deep. I feel every nerve through my back body stretching by now. And then navel down, bottom and head up. And wiggle around. Curl the toes under and come into your first downward dog. And start to pedal the feet. So what I mean by that, I'm going to lower my left heel, but bend my right knee and heel comes up. And then I'm going to alternate. And then alternate. Good. Now ground the heels down, look between the hands, and slowly come all the way to the top of the mat. Look up on the inhale, and exhale, fold. Let's come all the way up to standing. Inhale, hands to prayer, exhale. Arms up on your inhalation, palms down as you exhale, fold. Right leg back, left leg back, and pushing down. We'll start easy today, but you know we've got some stronger options. Sphinx or cobra on your inhale, and downward facing dog. 3 breaths. 1, 2, 3. Now look between the hands and let's bring our right foot forward. And then our left. Look up on the inhale and folds down as you exhale. Come all the way up to standing. Inhale. Hands to prayer. Exhale. Arms up on the inhale. Hands down. Fold. Left leg back, then right. Now pushing down. Let's go all the way down again. Can you come up onto your knees? It's sort of like that lazy upward dog. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll get stronger each time. 1, 2, 3. We're going to stay 2 more breaths. Use this downward dog to deeply stretch your shoulders and your hips. 4 and 5. Now look between the hands. Left foot forward. Right foot forward. Exhale down. Coming all the way up. Inhale. prayer, exhale. Are you ready to jump? If not, just stay lunging back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, palms down. Now you can choose step or jump back firmly to plank. And exhale, pushing down. Are you ready to try your next step in your upward dog called the toes under? Up dog. If your pose looks like this, please go back to a preparation. Try and get stronger by engaging the front of the legs and squeezing your bottom so that you have got your shoulders back and a very safe and strong lower back. Coming back to downward facing dog. If your lower back feels very dull between up dog and down dog, please be very careful and go back to the preparation poses. 3 more breaths. And 2. 1. Now look between the hands, right leg forward and left, or jump forward if you remember. Head down. Arms all the way up, inhale. And we have one more like this, exhale. Jump back and push down. Now I'm not touching the ground anymore, only my hands and my feet. This pose is called crocodile. See, for obvious reasons. You need to be strong. Upward dog, inhale, or cobra, or the preparations for up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. 1. And 2. 3. Look between the hands. Jump forward. Head down. Arms all the way up. Inhale. Can you do a little bit of a back arch here? Wiggle and open up. Hands to prayer at the chest. Gentle breath in. Long breath out. Are you ready for the variations? Do you remember them? Arms up on your inhale. Palms down as you exhale. Look up and jump back as you inhale and push down. Up dog. And downward dog. 3 breaths. 1. As you breathe, start to work out which is your left foot. Bring your awareness into your left leg and raise the left leg in the air behind you and point the toe. Make circular motions with the ankles. A bit of advice, try not to collapse into the hip. It happens a lot with kids. I want you to pull your belly in and lift up. Get as much space in the shoulder and in the hip as you can instead of a squish. Look between the hands. Left foot forward, coming onto the right foot. Arms up. Remember what this was? High lunge. Good. Now pull the belly in and bring the right hand down and come to a twist. Let's stay a few breaths here. So I'm going to pull my belly in. In fact, squeeze my hips into my ribs. Open through the diaphragm and hang open. Try and bend your back knee and open up deeper, or see how far you can go with the legs straight. Up to you. Remember mindful transitions. Our next pose is Warrior 2. Coming to Warrior 2, look out over the left fingertips. Good, bending that left knee. And reverse your Warrior. Try not to touch the back leg. Have you straightened this leg, or have you got, remember that mindfulness trick of just trying to stay in the pose a little longer. Now, last class, we learned side angle pose like this. If you think you are opening up strongly in the pose, why don't you bring your left arm down and your right arm up? And if you really want to go deeper and you're not collapsed in the pose, bring the right arm behind the back and grab your left tracksuit pant or thigh. Now what is this? This is the preparation for our binds, which is the turtle. We've still got our leg bent. We are smiling about it, aren't we? We are going back to Warrior 2 and straightening the back leg and reversing the triangle. And into our triangle pose. Remember that idea of sliding down the imaginary wall that we did in lesson 1. 3 breaths. And 2. And 1. Now hands down on either side of the foot. Kick that left leg all the way up and back. Can you kick it up high? Great, we're going to learn some fancy variations soon. But we're going to put the foot down. Move to plank. Pushing down. Up dog. And downward facing dog. So you stay where you are. I'm actually going to turn around so that I'm facing you for most of this part of the practice. Let's raise the right leg in the air behind you. Remember not to collapse into the left side of the body. Good. A strong body is a flexible body. So we're not doing it by collapse. We're doing it via strength. I'm engaging my muscles, not oversplitting. Bring your right foot between the hands. And come up to a high lunge. Good. Sinking down, sinking down. Good. Now left hand down on the inside edge of the foot. Pull the belly in and twist to the right. Good. Have you got all those little ways? I feel this great twist through a part of my spine that's always super stuck, and that's just above the middle of my spine. Good. Warrior two. Do not put that right hand down. Do not straighten that right leg. Look out over the right fingertips and smile. Reverse your warrior. You could go for a half bind by bringing the arm behind the back, getting used to that binding movement. And then your version of side angle pose, either elbow on the knee, or sliding the arm down, or arm behind the back, and half bind. Keep stable in the feet, keep solid in the legs. We're almost there, but keep the knee bent, keep smiling, warrior two. Phew. Reverse the triangle. Triangle pose. 3 breaths. 1, 2, 3. Then hands down on either side of the foot. Can you swing that leg all the way up and back? Such a delicious stretch. Bring the foot down, back to plank. Push down. Up dog. Downward dog. Do you remember last week we did quite a challenging mindfulness exercise, working on graceful transitions? Here we're going to give this a go. Raise your left leg in the air behind you. Point the toe. Gaze to the ground. See if you can raise the right hand off the ground. Are you wobbling like this? Do you know what's happened? You don't have enough weight evenly distributed on all the edges of your support foot. It's only on the outside edge of your foot. Press into the ball of the foot. Press into your left hand. See if you can raise your right hand up. See if you can bring your right hand to your right shin. Tricky, takes practice. Bring your right hand down. Come to warrior one. We're going to bring our left foot forward and be on the ball of the right foot. And raise our arms up. Our next pose is warrior three. We're going to lengthen forward and raise up. I think last week we did aeroplane like this. You can do aeroplane. If you want to go deeper, you bring your hands to grab your chest. Or you extend your arms out. It is not easy at all. Give it a go. Now back to the center, hands to prayer. Hands down on either side of the foot. Do you remember what we worked on? A couple of handstands. I'd like you to try 5 kick-ups. You don't have to get there. L-shaped handstands are fine. 4. See if you can hold, or see if you can snap the legs together. And maybe try one more. Snap and down. Where are we? We've got our left foot on the ground and still the right leg's flying high. Let's bring the right leg down. Let's swing the left leg up behind us. So do you know your lefts and rights? And put your foot down. Plank. Push down. Up dog. Downward dog. Okay, how are you going? I think you're getting fit and healthy by this stage. Raise your right leg in the air behind you. Point your toe. Find your spot. Experiment shifting weight into the left foot and right hand. And raise the left hand off the ground. Maybe grab your shin. Or just play around. Another one of those poses where the more you practice, the better you get. Not worse. Right foot forward. Warrior one. Airplane or warrior three, up to you. 1, 2, 3. Hands down into your standing split. Good. Then start your L-shaped handstands, hands to the ground, and see if you can pop up a few times. Good. See how you go. A couple more. We'll try for your full handstand. We do a lot of handstands in our courses. You need a little bit of a spotter, but the more you practice, the better you get. Left foot goes back down and right leg lifts up. Right foot down. Come to plank. Push down. Up dog. And 5 breaths. Downward dog. 1. Close your eyes. You should be so stretchy now. 3. And 4. 5. Look between your hands. Jump your feet neatly to the top of the mat. Look up, inhale, and exhale, fold. Coming all the way up to standing. Inhale. Hands to prayer. Exhale. Take a gentle breath in. And long breath out. Well done. So now that we're warm, we're going to learn all about Kurmasana, the turtle pose. So if you can imagine, the turtles have this shell, and at any point in time when they want to go inwards, we call it involute. They can bring their head and their limbs in. They are the consummate examples of head meditators. So they are the best meditators in the world. They can lie and they can just draw all their senses in, and they don't need to see what's going on in the outside world. Kurmasana is a very complex pose. It's going to be a very deep forward bend. So we will start with our feet hip width apart. We'll bend our knees a little, and we will fold and bring our hands on our feet and wiggle around. You work out where you need to breathe into, where you need to lengthen. My advice that the bend should come from the hips, not from the back. I don't like bends from here, guys. So I want the bend to come from the hips. And then if you've got your hands down, look up so that your front spine is stretched and draped over your legs. And then fold down. Good. The longer you stay here, the more relief you'll find in the pose. So let's stay at least 10 gentle breaths. I say gentle, but they're long breaths. Halfway there. And 4. 3. 2 and 1. Now bend your knees and rolling all the way up to standing, feet together, arms above the head. Might feel, because you've been there a while, a little dullness in the lower back. So let's stretch it out. And then hands to prayer at the chest. Good. And let's bring our left leg forward and our right leg back. Now I've got this mat with lines on it, all these alignment lines. So I've got my left foot on the line and my right heel on the line. This is called the humble warrior. I'm going to have a warrior legs. I'm going to interlace my fingers behind the back, and I'm going to slide down the inside edge of my legs. So my shoulders on the inside edge of the leg. And my head is coming down past the calf, past the ankle towards the ground. And now what I'm going to try and do is bring, okay, my left leg is in front, my left shoulder's on the inside. I'm going to wrap my left arm around behind the leg and my right arm over. So I'm going to come a little closer and try and show you what that looks like. It is called a bind. It is fantastic for the shoulders. So here, I don't know if you can see, but my shoulder is on the inside edge of the knee and I'm binding. This is one of our most basic binds. Let's stay in the pose. You might be feeling this in your left buttock a lot. Work the left hip back. It's a huge glute and hamstring stretch. 3 more breaths. And 2. And 1. Now can you straighten your left leg and bend and straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. Coming all the way up. And let's come to that warrior shape on your other side. I'm going to bend my right knee. Interlace my fingers behind the back. I'm going to bring my shoulder on the inside edge of the right knee. Head down the inner calf, inner ankle. And then bind. Grab the grab a belt like this if you will. So I've had some shoulder injuries in the past and I couldn't do this, but getting back into these poses was the best thing I could do to heal my shoulders. Okay, and then coming back up. Good. Okay, the next one we are going to come to another kind of half bind. It's a half firefly pose. I'm going to bring my left shoulder on the inside edge of my left leg. My legs are closer together this time. And I'm going to wrap the arm around my leg and grab my wrist or my fingers. Then try and straighten the leg. Ooh, you can feel so many sensations here. What are you feeling right now? It's confronting. Can you still breathe? Can you still smile? Let's try the other side. Wrapping, wrapping, wrapping. Getting deeper into the poses. Okay, how'd you go? So the next one is one of the poses we're working on today. It's called the firefly, or Titipasana, the standing firefly. So let's give this one a go. See if I can do it with the belt, because, okay, maybe I'll keep the belt here on my back, holding. Now I'm going to hold the belt with one hand. I got it with the other. Good. Now you can do it like this and try and walk your hands in. Sometimes it is so easy for you long skinny kids to get the full pose. Let's give it a go. We're going to bring one shoulder around and then the other. I've got to make sure my shoulder's behind my knees. And I'm going to grab my fingers. 3 breaths. 1, 2, 3. Then hands on the ground. Here's a fun trick. Can you do this one? Whoa, firefly. This is the full Titipasana. And then let's have a little break. Good. So these are insanely strong lower back stretches. I've got a very stiff lower back, so after I've done this, my whole back goes, whoa, what have you done to me? So I lie down for a little moment and I lift it up. It's not too stiff, but just this pose is quite strong for me. Now let's see if we can do our full turtle pose. Once again, we have the belt near us. I got my left leg bent. I'm going to try and slide my shoulder so far under the knee, and I'm going to try and squeeze the knee into my shoulder. And that's actually going to help my shoulder, my arm go around. I'm going to hold the belt. Then I'm going to try the other side. Can you grab the belt? And down. Now we've got 2 options on either side of this posture. To break it down so it's easier, we can sit down and do our half bind. So I've only bound one leg, and then I'm going to wrap around my back and bring my head down. Try then to straighten the legs. As I said, there's going to be all sorts of sensations in the body. Keep the knee close to the shoulder. The minute the knee slides down the arm, it puts uncomfortable pressure on the arm, and then you can't rotate from the right place. So then you can try your other side, or if you like, you can try the full pose. So how do we safely do the full pose? I can't emphasize how close you want the knees to the shoulders. Not like this, like this. And I am just going to keep wiggling underneath. Keep wiggling my arms under and wiggling and wiggling and wiggling and wiggling. And then my knees are going to cling into my shoulders. They're squeezing my shoulders. Then arm up, arm 1 comes up, arm 2 comes up. This took me years. This might look quite easy now, but this took me such a long time. I practiced every day. And now I am as relaxed and calm as a turtle. I can stay a few more breaths. You can cross your ankles over if you can. My legs are a little short. I'll get there one day. One more breath in. One more breath out, and I'm going to release. And remember, it is such a strong forward bend. I lie down to recover for a moment. Whoa. Ooh, all my nerves, everything goes. I'm going to lift my hips up. You know what? I'm going to pop myself into a little back bend. Might not be the world's best back bend, but you guys are young. Your spines can move. 3 more breaths. And 2. And 1. Lie down. Hug your knees into the chest. Good. That was a strong practice today, yeah? Just to end the practice today, we're going to do a bit of a shoulder stand bridge transition. So we're going to kick ourselves up. Remember, I've given you some easy versions for shoulder stand. You could press your feet into the wall and lift. You can bring your hands to your shoulder blades. So one of the earlier stages is just to catch the hips with your hands. But when you get stronger in the core, I mean this area and this area, you will be able to straighten up. Not only straighten up, you may be able to balance without holding your shoulder blades. You could keep your wrists behind. You can bring your hands in line. Then I'd like to challenge you to close your eyes and draw your meditation and thoughts towards your third eye center, calming your brain, calming your mind. 3 more breaths. And 2. And 1. Now either support your back or hands free. Come into plow. Hips over shoulders. I see a lot of kids doing this with a very rounded back. I want you to see if you can straighten up. Remember, I try to keep this practice in most classes because it is just so good for teenagers, releasing tension in the neck and the shoulders. A few more moments. And very, 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 very slowly. Rolling, rolling, rolling. All the way down. Okay. You're going to roll down. And then you are going to bring your feet down. And lift your hips. I actually forgot to mention, you're probably down by now, but if you do remember, you could drop one leg down and then the other. Apologies. Give it a go. It's a lot of fun. Teaches us our drop back bends and kickovers. So lifting up your hips, hands under your shoulders, and then coming up into your full wheel. Up you come. And then holding 5 breaths. How are you going with this pose? If this was new to you, are you getting better? If you found you couldn't do it in the first couple of practices, are you starting to find the skill? And those who've always been able to do it, can you do some fancy variations? Can we do our push-ups? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Great work. And if anybody remembers one more variation, you can stop the film and you can do a couple of the variations that we did in the last practice. Good. Are our yin twists. We're going to do a lying down twist. It's so good. I love this pose. Arms out 180 degrees. I'm going to cross my right thigh over the left and then bring my foot under. I'm going to bring the knees to the left and look to the right. I'm not going to go too fast. I know I want to push my knees down, but in fact I'm just going to accept that my knees aren't going down immediately. There's a little bit of stiffness to overcome, a little bit of tension. Now I'm going to observe my breath. and make my breath as smooth as possible. There is no obligation to bring that other shoulder down, but maybe, just maybe, it might move all the way to the ground. But if you force and push, just go backwards a little bit. We're trying to do this whole practice without any pushing. We're going to spend a couple of minutes here. Okay, take one more breath in. One more breath out, and slowly, slowly coming up. Did you relax? Did your mind switch off? Did you forget about all those things that were on your mind before the class? Let's not think about them just yet. Bring your left leg over your right, and let's come to the other side. Look out to the left. Once again, don't force. You may be able to recognize one side is more flexible than the other. Well done. Hug your knees in. And lying down, get ready for your meditation.